Hey everyone, this is the second part of the recording. I'm just going to start right where I left off on the first recording. With smell, so olfactory, we already addressed a few things like not having strong perfume or cologne around. If there's any unscented soaps that you can use, that can be beneficial. But to provide some sensory input, you can have different scents or oils around for the child to explore. You can even make it into a game. You can have the child close their eyes. You can put different oils or lotions around them or even fruits around them and have them guess what smell it is. So subtly introducing them to different scents as well. And depending on how your child responds to it, you can have certain essential oils that they can use. So there's some essential oils that are very calming, also smells that are very alerting, so stimulating as well. With taste and oral motor, we can address things like food, which we had talked about before. Some children might like intense foods, while other children might like more bland foods. You can also address that with textures too. So soft food like pounded yam or mashed potatoes, that's softer, which the child might like, or harder foods like fried meat, anything that's very chewy. There's also foods like beans, where it's soft, or it can be soft, but there might be a different texture. So just try and be aware of what textures your child might like, and then you can slowly introduce new textures or new tastes to them as well. If a child wants a lot of sensory input, so they like to put things in their mouth all the time and they like to chew, one option could be gum. Something that we have here, we call them chew tubes, and this is a chew tube. So it's made out of rubber and it's on a lanyard, so the child can put it on their neck, and any time that they want that input, they can just chew on this. Because of the way this one's built, it's less of a choking hazard because they won't be able to swallow it. Obviously, you still want to be with your child when they're using this. So if you don't have a chew tube, another option which I was thinking about are chewing sticks that I know that they have in Nigeria, where if you chew on that stick, it can get very, very, very soft, and it kind of turns into bristles. That is something that a child can chew all day, and they're able to receive that input. If you have tried that with your child and it has worked, please let us know, because I'm interested in that as well. I've only seen the rubber ones that have been used, but I think those would be good as well. Another aspect with oral motor is having the child engage in activities where they have to blow. Anything dealing with blowing, where they have to use a lot of force to get something out, it's good for your diaphragm, but you're also getting some of that input. You're pushing on your cheeks. So this, something basic enough, dealing with the wind, a child that'll have to blow will be able to see something happen. So it's still fun, it can still be a game for them, but they're also getting some of that input in. Or just getting a bottle of bubbles and having the child blow bubbles there as well. So anything dealing with blowing can also provide them with that oral motor input that they're trying to receive. So there's the vestibular, which is pertaining to movement. With my experience, linear movement, so anything dealing with rocking, that has been known to be a little bit more calming, versus spinning or any type of rotation, rotary movement, that is known for being a little bit more alerting. One aspect is getting a rocking chair for a child so they can rock back and forth. It's a gentle movement, it's very calming. Also, if you have a big exercise ball, having the child sit on an exercise ball and going up and down on that. I recommend that if you are having a child rock, it should be in a rocking chair. So I don't promote children rocking back and forth when they're sitting in a regular chair. The reason why is because when you're in a rocking chair, you're purposely getting that movement. If you're in a regular chair and you're in school or you're working on something, you can easily get distracted rocking and you're not paying attention to the task at hand. So I usually like to keep both things separate. So if you have a bench that rocks back and forth or a chair that rocks, that's great. When you're in that chair, you can rock. When you're ready to focus on a task, let's focus on the task at hand. Another aspect that can be very calming and can be a part of linear input is if you have two people available, you can put a child, if they're small enough, in a bed sheet or like a towel and have each person on one side of it and having them rock back and forth. So it's kind of like having a child in a hammock, or even like a baby when you're rocking a baby side to side. It's that same aspect, but they're getting a little bit more movement. Or even having them sit down and putting their head in between their legs. Or for the children who like the movement, it's something quick and it could be something brief. And then swings and slides are always good. So if there's a playground around, or again, even if there's a hammock around, having the child just get some of that linear input can be helpful as well. For spinning or any rotation, rotary movement, you can put them in an office chair or any desk chair and spin them around. If you spin them one direction, I strongly suggest that you spin them the other direction. So you're winding something and then you're letting it unwind the other direction. Spinning while you're sitting up and when you're laying down, they provide different types of inputs. Some children might like one better than the other. So for parents or viewers who are wanting more information after this video, there is a specific protocol called the Astronaut Rotation Protocol. I can provide a link below talking about it, and that is a specific protocol pertaining to having your child receive vestibular input spinning. Since I can't provide that training to you right now, I would say if you have your child sitting down, spin them one direction and spin them the other direction as well. If your child has epilepsy or seizures, I strongly recommend that you speak with your child's physician about clearance on being able to do any vestibular input with that child. If their seizures are not being treated, we would want to keep that vestibular response to a minimum so we're not triggering more seizures. With proprioception, there are two phrases that go hand in hand with proprioception, and those are deep pressure and heavy work. Deep pressure is basically you providing a child with proprioceptive input. So they're not doing much, you're providing them with that input. So that could be seen as you giving somebody a really tight hug or pressure on their limbs or their joints. They're not doing much, they're just receiving that deep pressure. On the other hand, there's heavy work. And heavy work is the child doing certain tasks in order to receive proprioceptive input. I've had children move furniture around, pick up these big heavy bolsters and throw them around because they're receiving that sensory input. So with deep pressure, like I said, you can give a child really tight hugs. You can also do things like take a blanket or a towel and wrap them really tightly in it, kind of like a burrito, and try and see if they can walk around in it or see if they just like that pressure against them. It can be very calming for them as well. And then there are weighted objects that you can use. So we've seen that with weighted blankets, weighted vests, ankle weights or wrist weights as well. And that is providing heavy input for the child, and it's known for being very calming to the child as well. In the treatment session I have with a child who he could not sit still for more than a second. He loved vestibular input. To get him to stay seated in the chair, I had him use a weighted blanket on his legs, so I put it on his lap. And he liked that input and he was able to sit down and work on the task at hand. In the US, we have a lot of companies that sell these weighted objects, but they can also be easily made. I'll try and see if I can find any links that I can post for you all. The weighted blanket, you usually want that to be as heavy as 10% of the child's weight, but just to keep things simple, I would start anywhere between 3 to 5 pounds of weight in there. With the weighted vests, again, they sell commercial ones, but you can easily get one made with a tailor. This is a commercial one that I have. And with this one, you can see that there are a lot of pockets in it. And within the pockets, they have different weights in there. So if you get a tailor, you can get a vest made for your child with different pockets inside. And then you can just have pouches with, again, sand or rice or beans or something that is a little heavy. And then you can add as much weight or as little weight as possible in the pockets of the vest. So that is something that you can try as well. And some children might respond better to the vest, some children might respond better to a blanket. It's based on your child's needs and what they like. Another option, if you don't want to get those made, is also just having a backpack with the child and just putting something a little bit heavy in there. So that's basic enough. It's something that they can take off if they don't like it, or they can put it back on if they like that as well. Hopefully this video was beneficial for you all. In the next video, I'll provide you with just a few closing remarks on this educational series. So thank you.